Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're back on the TF2 workshop and today we're going to be going over some items that I think should be added in the SMISSMAS 2019 update. And I briefly touched on this in one of these videos and I essentially went through and said if you want me to do a full workshop video, you know, let me know down in the comments. And there was a lot of people telling me to go into the workshop. I also had a few Twitter DMs as well telling me to look at specific things in the workshop. So today we're going to be looking at maps, weapons and cosmetics, all of which I think should be added and could be added in the SMISSMAS update. And obviously this is all, like, ideally, we might not even get a SMISSMAS update, but because I am a very optimistic person when it comes to TF2 and their updates, I thought I'd take a look at some of the community created content that could be added. So first we've got two maps to look at and they're both sort of like reskin maps, so to speak. This first one is Snowy Harvest and it is, as the name would suggest, a snowy version of Harvest, but I really like it. For those of you who don't know, Harvest and Harvest Event are like two of my favourite maps in TF2. And it makes sense to add a snowy version, you know, a Christmassy version of Harvest just makes sense to add. It really is pretty much just identical to how Harvest actually is, just it's covered in snow. And that also brings me on to Coldlands, which is a very, very clever pun on the name Badlands. Now, I mean, it may have went over your head because it's such a crazy pun. But yeah, Coldlands is just a Christmas version of Badlands, and as you can see, it's covered in snow once again. It's got Christmas lights around the wooden area, and just a few other like small details that sort of hint towards this is a Christmas reskin. We've got once again festive lights running up outside the buildings, and I think it definitely does fit the art style of the snowy TF2 maps. We've got gifts lying around the spawn rooms, and just overall I could fully imagine this being added into the game. I could imagine this like being in its own little pool. And why don't Valve add like a little pool of Christmas maps where they add in a few new ones and do contracts for them? Like I can't imagine it would take a huge amount of time for them to implement into the game because it would be similar to the Halloween maps. But yeah, just make some new contracts for the new maps, so to speak, like Coldlands and like Snowy Harvest, and it incentivizes people to play once again. But yeah, really nice maps there, and two maps I'd definitely like to see added into the game. Our first cosmetic now, we have a pretty basic one called the Festive Flicker. It is essentially the industrial festivizer that we can see there on the engineer on steroids. It's the festivizer lights wrapped around the Pyro's mask, so it would be like a head region replacement, things like the last breath, etc. But it's the most Christmassy cosmetic I can think of. Here it is as well, partnered with some other Christmassy items like the rather festive tree and the antlers, and we've got a festive back burner and a festive extinguisher there. Just like, it's not that noticeable, but obviously in the GIF here you can see that it's animated and the colours change every so often like the festivized weapons do. I like it, man. I could definitely imagine this being like a mercenary grade in a case, and it would be really accessible to people, and I like it a lot. Just overall, it's really nice. I can imagine a lot of people using this in their Christmassy loadouts. Up next, we've got the Groot Sheep, which isn't really Christmassy. I can't really think of how a sheep is Christmassy, but nonetheless, I just think it's a cosmetic that should be added into the cases at some point. As you can see, it's fully paintable. And it's just a little sheep with an eye patch. Like, he's missing an eye patch. It is like a little plushy toy, so maybe that's how it's Christmassy. But either way, I like it. It reminds me of Wooloo as well. I've been playing the new Pokemon. It reminds me of Wooloo, so it's got a special place in my heart. It's even got the SMISSMAS tag as well. But yeah, really cool item there. I could once again imagine this being in a case, probably like a purple grade or a blue grade. And just a lot of people would be unboxing this. You'd see a lot of them on the market. I just think it's a really nice, cute cosmetic for the demo, man. Up next, we've got the Yule Hog, which is an all-class hat. I think this is more of an American tradition. In England, we don't have, like, I guess is it pork? Like a big thing of pork? We don't really have those, but it's essentially that turned into a hat. It's paintable as well. It's a little bit off-putting. I wouldn't really want a lime pork or like a pink pork, but really interesting design. Like, the design for it's really professional as well. As you can see, it's got this little promotional poster that says "Need a hand. Our handy operators are available 24/7." And like, it is very Christmassy, assuming this is like something people have at Christmas. This would be like an elite grade, I can imagine. I can imagine like a burning flames one being themed, or like smoking or steaming being themed, of like a hog or pork thing being cooked. So either way, this is a really cool cosmetic. It looks very professional, very TF2-esque. It's like a pork version of the gibbous. Up next, we've got the super small Sleigh Hall style 1. And it's a pocket cosmetic. I'm not a huge fan of pocket cosmetics, but they seem to be added more than anything else. Every case is pretty much guaranteed to have a pocket cosmetic, and this one is really cute. It's a little reindeer coming out of a little gift wrap on the back or the side of your character. So it's paintable as well. You can paint the colour of the reindeer's fur. It's really cool in my opinion. I think it's a really cute design. Like, it looks happy and just sweet, and like, I'd want to use it, you know. It's one of those cosmetics where I'd want to have one in my backpack. Up next, we've got the Frosted Peak, kind of similar to the Hog in shape. It's a very like large top hat. This is once again a multi-class hat belonging to every class, actually, an all-class hat. It kind of reminds me of like the Gifting Man from Gifting Land and things like that, you know, the really tall hats, in the sense that it's really tall and it's got a bow around the bottom, which contrasts the colour of the hat itself, which is this bluey, whitey, icy colour. And then the red version, when you're on the red team, has like a hint of red, which is a nice touch in my opinion. When painted, it changes the colour of the bow, which is nice. I think that's quite a cool touch once again. And there is rotating around. I think the lighting on it is really cool as well. When the light hits it, it reflects it really well. This is just a really nice solid hat. Once again, I can imagine this being added in a winter case. Up next, we've got the war wrapping. This is a super basic one. It's available for the soldier exclusively, and just adds some gift wrap around the stock helmet of the soldier. It's paintable. You can change the colour of the bow, of course. It kind of reminds me of things like the stash, for example, in the sense that, like, it's not a proper hat. You could put a hat on top of this and, like, get rid of the helmet, but it's just some wrapping that you could put around a hat, which is really nice in my opinion. I really like the SFM for this as well. It's a soldier surrounded by presents, looking very, very happy with himself. Up next, we've got the Chump for the Pyro, which is like a head replacement. As I was saying, these are really popular as well. It's pocket cosmetics and head replacements for the Pyro that seem to be made a lot and like added a lot. And this one is essentially a glass of milk, which is why it's so Christmassy. The Santa Claus lore, that is never a sentence I expected myself to be saying, but the lore behind Santa Claus is you leave a glass and some cookies out for him. He has a little nibble on the cookie, drinks a bit of the milk, and then goes on his merry way. So I like that. I like how the underlying Christmas themes, but the fact it's paintable, you can change it to like, bro, that's kind of sus. No one's gonna drink tar. You know, that's like getting left coal in your stocking. Like, you're not gonna be drinking it. But yeah, I like the idea of this. It's very Christmassy and looks pretty good with other cosmetics. You can see it there mixed with a multitude of pyro hats, and I think especially with things like the skid lid and the potassium bonnet, it looks pretty darn cool. This is one that, in my opinion, isn't really Christmassy so much at all, but I really like the fact it's animated. I mean, I'm not sure if the actual cosmetic would be, but in the GIF, you can see it's like a heart rate going across consistently. If it's like that in game, that'd be really cool. It's like an animated hat without an unusual effect. So I really like the concept of this and having a hat that moves without it needing to be unusual. And there definitely needs to be more things like that. And now going on to the weapons, I really like the concept of these. So this is essentially, it kind of reminds me of like a reskin for the Spicicle in the shape for it. It's really long and gets like super pointed towards the end. It's a chili. It's a chili. That's literally all it is a chili for the Spy. And we can see the animations for it in this video titled Chili by Retro Mike. I want to see the backstab with it as well. Can we get a backstab with said chili? I mean, yeah, it just looks really nice. I could fully imagine this added. Like, it would just be a reskin, though. It wouldn't be its own weapon. But this of a reskin of the Spicicle would be great. And also, the Glass Assassin is great as well. I probably said that wrong. The Glass Assassin? Glassassin? Glassassin! Right, I got there in the end. It's like a icicle with a handle around it. Much like the Spicicle once again, in the sense that it's an icicle. But, like, it's been carved into a knife really poorly. It reminds me of the kunai, in a way. The size of it, it's a really small knife, as you can see there. But just overall, yeah, I could really imagine this being added. Once again, a very Christmassy weapon, and it's been a while since we've had weapon reskins at all. And the final item we're going to be looking at is the Hell Dryer for the Pyro. This is a Pyro secondary, and it looks to be like a pistol or a flare gun of sorts. I really like the design for it though. As you can see, it's this like pistol. It's got this almost engine in the middle with a battery power and all these loose wires. It looks really, really cool. It reminds me of like the Nostromo Napalmer as a secondary. So it definitely fits an already like made weapon in the game. So definitely one that Valve could add in very easily. But guys, that is just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. If you'd like to see more videos like this and general gaming content, do be sure to subscribe. Thanks again very much for watching, guys, and peace.